He's not going to hit for average. He's going to steal bases. He's a glorified Jose Caballero, and that's the extent of it.
Gosh.
That's the extent. His ceiling is so much lower to me than it is to, it feels like everyone I talk to.
High fly ball, right field deep. Canseco back to the track. Look it up. It is off.
But it's called off. Cut off by Clement. Baseball hits the runner.
Wow, off the head.
Hit his head.
The ball hits over the head. Helmet.
Sosa to his left. Nice play. Spinner wall, but he throws it away. Hits the
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Off the Dome podcast. We are back for episode 3. Need I mention that it's our 7 subscriber special, so if you subbed in and joined for the ride, we're happy to have you. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kobe Van Nort, here today, joined by my other co-host, Zev Black, Aaron Nemiroff. Zev, I know you have some stuff to talk about the football draft.
Yeah. You know, coming into the draft, a bit of controversy with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Vrabel, a little bit of a trouble situation. Turns out this has been going for, 6 years now? And Diana Rossini, she resigns. Vrabel's not with the team on day 3. But good draft, I thought, for the Pats. And the actual draft itself sets an all-time record. There were like 800,000 people that attended.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. Do you guys have any interest of ever going? I feel like it's not something that I care about.
No, it seems pretty boring to me, but I enjoyed watching from Zips Sports Bar.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was fun. My Rams had a pretty controversial pick there. Quarterback, first round. They had Matthew Stafford, the MVP, and decided to go with quarterback when he's hopefully going to be playing for another year or two, Stafford. So that was a little scary, but we trust in McVay.
And did you see what McVay said today about that, saying he hopes that Stafford plays another 3 years? It's kind of like, why draft a quarterback in the first round if you want Stafford there for another 3 years? I mean, I guess it's like a contingency, but he did just win MVP.
Yeah,
so,
it's
a bit of a weird pick to me.
It's interesting. It's all right.
But yeah, I mean, you guys are still top of the table, still the favorites going into the season, so not much to be concerned about in LA.
Yeah. I was...
Aaron, you went... Yeah, Vegas.
I was in Vegas earlier in the week with my dad, hanging out at the Circa Sportsbook, watching all the games. This was a great sports week. Baseball and playoff basketball, playoff hockey. Sportsbook's got like 16 screens in front of you playing every game at once, which is like kind of just what we have at our own home, but it's nice because it's a little bit bigger. It's like more of a movie theater. So that was a lot of fun. Me and my dad were betting some games, losing some money, and watching our fantasy players suck and piss us off. So it was a fun couple of days.
It was pretty funny. On Tuesday, you sent a picture of you in Vegas to our group chat. I sent a picture of me sitting on our couch. On one computer, I had Red Sox Yankees. On the other computer, I had Celtics Sixers. And on the TV, Bruins Sabres. All 3 Boston teams going on at once. So you were in Vegas, and I had Vegas at home.
Yeah, that was a good text. I liked it. That was funny.
Thanks.
All right.
Speaking of the Sox.
Yeah,
might be time for baseball. What a week for the Red Sox. I mean, they start off Marathon Monday. It's like the best day of the season, of the regular season for the Red Sox each year. And it means more ever since 2013. It just means more for the city of Boston. They won the game, which is always great. And then they welcome the Yankees into town and get swept by the Yankees. They only scored 3 runs in the entire series. And they only had 1 inning where they got multiple hits. And that was in the 9th inning of game 2. And they were already down 4-0. The offense was just anemic. It's been anemic all year long. Then they lose game 1 against the Orioles. And then in game 2, they win 17-1. And you're thinking, okay, like maybe they can turn the table, flip everything on its heads, and turn the page. Not turn the table. Turn the page, flip the season on its head. And then they fire Cora. And bunch of other coaches. I was shocked. I mean, it was, as a fan, I've been calling for his firing for a couple of weeks now. I feel like they've been making the same issues or the same mistakes that they've had in the past bunch of seasons, like 5 years in a row of them not playing good defense, running the bases poorly. This year they swing at so many pitches out of the zone and take so many strikes in the zone. And that's just not a recipe for success. Like, the worst part for me about it is that it comes out that it was Breslow's decision the entire time. Never talks to the players about it, and the players are not thrilled. Garrett Whitlock, he said they made it very clear that we get paid to play baseball and we just need to focus on baseball. And John Henry, the owner, he said nothing about the situation besides his statement that the team helps curate for him. I don't know. I don't like the direction of the Red Sox. I mean, I said last week that they're going to be sellers at the deadline. This could be trouble. Who knows what's going to happen from here? You see sometimes when a new manager comes in, it really, energizes the team. I'm hoping that's certainly the case. You see other times it just goes totally downhill. So we'll see what happens here. There was one bright spot. They did win the series this week against Baltimore. I was saying to Aaron earlier that if they had lost today, I was probably going to show up with a paper bag on my head. I get to avoid that treatment. Aroldis Chapman also passed Goose Gossage for second most strikeouts by a relief pitcher. That's kind of cool. Kenley is fourth and Kimbrel's fifth, which is also, I think, just amazing that you have these three closers in the 2010s that are among the best of all time. In my opinion, 3 Hall of Famers. Anyways, Red Sox, they're in shambles. What are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, I know that, I watch every game. You guys might not be. But from an outside source, what's your thoughts on the Red Sox firing Cora?
I don't hate the decision at all. I mean, I think when things aren't going right, like, someone needs to make a decision. I also think that there's just a lot that, like, we're not seeing in front of the media just doesn't necessarily cover. And although, John Henry hasn't necessarily come out and forward and said something like, there's just a lot that goes into it. And kind of like you said earlier, I mean, it can really fire up a team, especially just getting a new look. They may not, it's hard to appreciate what you don't necessarily know. Another thing to note, I find it really interesting that the AAA coach is getting a chance. I feel like you don't see that often with teams where they'll fire a coach and usually just go to an outside hire. I mean, you saw with the Giants this past offseason hiring a college coach, and it's like they don't even look down to what they have going on in AAA, which, like, I don't know. I like that concept. It's like, it's someone who you trust enough to run the guys who you have below the system. Why not give them a chance in the major leagues? So I think it's really interesting. But yeah, I totally agree with the decision. Yeah,
I think that Chad Tracy, he's the interim. I don't know how long he's going to stick around at the major league level for. I mean, personally, I've already called a couple of friends. I want Albert Pujols in there. I think that would be just so great for the team. He's obviously wants to manage. He managed the Dominican Republic. And the Red Sox have a great history of Dominican players in Boston. Ortiz, Manny, Pedro, these guys who are, legends in the city. And to bring in Pujols, why not get Nelson Cruz as your hitting coach too, by the way? But to bring in Pujols as the manager, I think that would be so smart for the team. And I mean, maybe he doesn't want to do it. We'll see. But I think that would be really smart for the team.
Yeah. All right. Enough with the Sox. It's not a Sox pod.
facts.
Zab's going to want to talk about them every week.
I see you wearing your Lakers jersey. I feel like I have to. I'll be right back. Hold on.
I do have my LeBron jersey on. Lakers game 4 is starting in 5 minutes. They're going for the sweep.
Come on.
Everyone was doubting them. No Luka, no Reeves. Doesn't matter. We got LeBron. My GOAT. I'm excited. I'm going to be tuning in after we're done with this recording. I know Kobe's excited too.
Very giddy. They don't call me Kobe for nothing.
Here we go.
Born and raised a Lakers fan. Let's go, Lake Show.
Celtics. What's the score here?
We're some rivals here. We're some rivals.
Celtics. 2 minutes left in the game. Up 123-96. Feeling good. Going up 3-1 against the Sixers. Looking to move on. Looking to advance. Anyways, back to baseball.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of these sign stealing controversies we had this week, which, talking about my wardrobe, I got another little thing here. Sign stealing shirt, Houston Trastros. Never forget 2017. Bunch of cheaters over there. We had 2 incidents this week. I think the first one was with JT Ginn and Josh Naylor.
JT Ginn
and Josh Naylor. Naylor was out on second base. We've seen this many times over the years, but Naylor's signaling to the hitter, just waving his arms, doing whatever it takes to kind of signal to the hitter what pitch might be coming. seen Jazz and the Yankees do it a lot. And then later happened again, maybe in San Francisco. Hyun Kim of the Dodgers running on second base. Didn't really do much, but Logan Webb like kind of randomly turned around, looked at him and started jawing, and the Dodgers broadcast thought that that was probably what was going on. It's really interesting because we have the pitch comm now, so it's not like you can actually read the catcher's signs to get what pitch. I think the most you can do at this point is just read the location and set up with the catcher, which could be faked anyways, right? The catcher can set up outside and they go in high, low, whatever. What do you guys think about this? This isn't cheating. This isn't what the Astros did. It's legal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally legal. It's also players looking into the glove of the pitcher and seeing what actual grip they have on the ball. So yeah, if you can see that, pitcher has that forkball grip on there, they're throwing a forkball, and it's going to be tough to hide that. And these players on second base, if they can signal to the batter and say, look, you got off speed coming, gives a big advantage. I'm totally fine with it. Kobe?
I mean, look, if you really have a problem with it as a pitcher, pull a Kenley Jansen, balk, move him over to third.
Yeah.
Don't let him see, what
totally.
you're throwing. Like, if it's that big of an issue. But I think getting mad at the player over it is ridiculous. It's been something that's been done in baseball for however many years. I mean, it's ridiculous that pitchers feel the need to have a problem towards the player for doing it, because it's, not against the rules.
Right. No, I totally agree. And because of this, we came up with a new segment called the Blind Ranking Game. Very, very original and creative name. I'm going to give you 5 unwritten rules. Both of you are going to give me your 2 separate lists. Without knowing which comes next, you're going to place the unwritten rule based on how much you agree with that rule. Does that make sense? You guys got that?
Yeah, I get it.
Before you start, I've been thinking about this all day. We came up with this idea. And I've been trying to figure out like what rules. Yeah, that's what's consumed my entire day, Kobe. I've been trying to figure out what you're gonna give us.
No basketball.
I've got a couple in mind, but I couldn't get to 5, so I'm very curious what you got for us.
We're starting off with legally stealing signs, like we just talked about. Where would you put that,
Kobe?
Put it at, I don't know, 4.
Okay, wait. Remind me again, though.
Yeah.
Are we saying like how much we believe in this should exist? Like you shouldn't be allowed to steal signs from second base?
Yeah. Correct. Yep. So it's like, actually, just exactly. I was trying to give another way to describe it. No, exactly as you just said is how we're ranking it.
Yeah, I'm saying 4 is in like, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think there could be one other thing on there that maybe will go a little bit further down, but I'm gonna go 4 for now.
That feels pretty safe. I would consider 5, but these games are always scary. You never want to pick at the end. So I'll put it at 4 too. I like where your head's at, Kobe.
All right, there we go. Second one is when you're winning the game, 10 runs or more, blowout. Don't swing at 3-0. Don't steal a base. Basically, don't run up the score.
I'm gonna put that at 3. And honestly, my biggest reasoning for that is like, I don't think it matters. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars, but also have opportunities to get paid more money based on their stats. And sometimes teams don't really look into, was this a blowout when they hit 2 home runs or whatever it may be. So I think like you're trying to make money in this game, and I don't blame the goal of trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we famously saw with your mean Mercedes a couple of years ago. He swings at 3-0 and his coach none too happy, but he's a young player. He just wants to make a name for himself in the league.
The fact that Tony La Russa is the one that had a problem with it kind of tells the entire story. Who cares? I like
dinosaur.
I like it again, Kobe. Let's go 3 on that.
Nice. All right. Full agreement so far. The third one, you're the pitcher. You get pulled from the game mid-inning and say it's first and second with 1 out. You got to stay in the dugout until your slate is clean.
So, like, instead of going to the locker room or something?
Yeah. You see the pitchers, they stay up in the dugout until, I mean, it could either be the end of the inning or maybe a guy gives, the relief pitcher gives up a home run and his night is done. No runners on base. He's still responsible for.
I'm going 5. I genuinely don't think that to me matters that much, maybe from a team aspect, but to me, you want to go into the dugout, go do your thing, or I'm sorry, go into the clubhouse, like, so be it. If you're at a Sutter Health Park game, you can't do that. You're going to have to stay in the dugout because you have to go in between innings if you want to leave. But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Because I always loved when a player would get ejected or manager get ejected, they got to walk through center
It's
field.
the walk of
That
shame.
was
It's fun to
great.
watch.
That's
That's
great.
This is where we differ. I'm gonna go 2 because I have a feeling I might know what's coming, and I think that's gonna be my 1. So I'm gonna put this at 2. I think it's important to show up for your teammates and just show that you're still involved in the game and supporting the guy coming in after you, especially in comparison to what we had at 3 and 4. I would say I believe in this a little bit more than those two. So I think 2 is the right spot. We're playing a dangerous game. Me and Kobe both have, or I have 1 and 5 open. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's actually a really important one, just from a team aspect. Gotta support your guys.
Look, another thing, when I was younger playing Little League, I mean, I felt like I was going to poop my pants. I'm going to be honest with you. And I wasn't pitching well because of it. So when I got pulled from the game, guess what I did? I left. I didn't go stay in the dugout to watch them, and I couldn't. And, you know, I'm sure they don't talk about it much, but I'm sure it happens more than we think. So just putting that out there.
All right.
Fair enough.
We're staying with pitchers for this fourth one. Don't step on the pitcher's mound. And try for this one, you're in the mind of a pitcher. Don't like God stepping on your mound. What do you think about that?
Well, I guess I got to go 2. It doesn't, with a lot of these, like, I know it's unwritten rules and I'm trying to rank which one's worse than the other, but I'll put it at 2 for now. I mean, I definitely am in the mindset of, like, don't do that. But that, again, it's just like, you don't want to mess with someone's feng shui. It's almost like stepping on the green while golfing. So I'll put it at 2.
Yeah.
This is what I was waiting for to be my 1. Do not disrespect the pitcher. That is his mound. He built that mound, and he is going out there inning after inning and trying to win your team a game or his own team, and you got to respect that. Don't step on that mound. And, like, I pitched in Little League. It's not the same thing.
Oh, gosh.
But
team must have stunk.
You have that little divot where you plant your foot when you pitch, and, like, it would bother me if that divot kind of started to shift because of the other pitcher or whatever. Just leave the mound alone. You're working that mound, honestly, when you're pitching. You're creating your own little holes and spots for your feet. Like, get away from that mound.
Yeah, nice. The fifth one, what spot do you guys have left? Aaron, you have 3, is that right?
5.
You have
Number
5.
1.
Kobe? And you have number 1. 2 opposites.
Yeah, this is going to
Wow.
be crazy.
The last one is don't bunt to break up a no-hitter.
I'm okay with that.
What do you guys think about that? You cool with those spots?
I'm okay with that. I don't know where I would have, if I wouldn't have put it, like, I think I might switch 1 and 2 around with a little bit of hindsight, but I'm honestly okay with that. I mean, that's just a Bush League way to get on. But at the end of the day, strategy is strategy, so I don't hate it, but guess I'm kind of stuck with it. We'll go number 1 for this one.
I don't mind that at my 5, actually. Oh, wait. No, I'm confused. Yeah, no. I do want that at my 5. I'm actually happy with that. If you're trying to win a baseball game, you don't care about the no-hitter on the other side. If the score is within 3 runs or whatever it is, like, and you think a bunt is your best way to get on base, you got to do that. The other person's accolade isn't worth more than you winning your team a game. So yeah, I don't really believe that one. Now it does depend on the situation. 10-0 ninth inning.
I agree.
It's
kinda soft.
That's wrong. That's wrong for sure. Perfect game is obviously a much more meaningful thing too than a no-hitter, but it really comes down to the score in the inning for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It does come down to the score. It's just you're so soft if you do that late in the game. Like if you're down big, like a lot of no-hitters kind of are, and it's 7th, 8th, 9th inning, and you're bunting, like, come on, you're in the major league. Swing the bat. Get on base a legit way. Not that bunting isn't legit, but swing the bat. So good list, guys. I think I think I agree with Aaron's a little more. Sorry, Coach.
All right, bro.
But I think having
That's why you're leading
bunting-
this charge and I'm making a list, all right?
Fair enough. Well, you're about to lead the charge here. Phillies and
Yeah,
Mets.
I can't believe this is the headline.
gosh.
They won a game. Like this is actually something that we're
Yeah.
talking about. But
we put in our rundown, like all of our moments we're talking about. Moment 3 is Phillies and Mets win a game. Like that's what we put as our little headline for it. It was a little disrespectful, I guess.
I mean, it's the truth. The Phillies have lost 10 in a row, or had. The Mets had lost 12 in a row. Phillies got swept by the Cubs. The Mets got swept by, got swept by the Rockies. Like, this is just an embarrassment right now, especially coming from the NL East. I mean, in the past, I don't know, 5 years, this has just not been a division like that whatsoever. And really comes as a surprise because, again, especially the Mets, I mean, their power rankings going into the season was nowhere near what they're playing at right now. I mean, they were, like, from what I saw with how good of a winter they had, I mean, they were ranked, like, top 5, maybe even top 3. Like, they looked like, on paper, to be a very, very big threat, and they've been anything but that. The Phillies, same idea. I mean, they might have been closer to the top 10 going into the season, but still, I mean, the roster that they've put together, the pitchers that they have, like, again, it's just all a surprise, and a lot of it comes down to the stars struggling. I mean, Trey Turner, Lindor, like, guys like that who, of that nature, are typically, leaders, captains of the team, and aren't really doing their part. And, obviously doesn't help the Mets that Soto was hurt for a stretch of time. But, I mean, no team in MLB history has ever had a 12-game losing streak and made the playoffs, which I found really interesting. But do you guys think the Mets will overcome these odds?
I just don't. I don't see it. I think that it goes beyond just the players they have on the field. Now, of course, Soto comes back, Lindor immediately goes down, which doesn't help either. But during Soto's injury, it comes out that he really wasn't talking to the team. It's like, he's supposed to be one of the better players. He's supposed to be a leader in this clubhouse. And if he's not talking to the team at all, even while he's injured, like, there are issues, in my opinion, with the Mets that go beyond baseball. I don't think the Mets can do it. The Phillies, I think, have a bit of a better roster, especially their starting pitching, I think, is a lot stronger. They didn't lose 12 in a row, so they don't have that history to fight with. But I just don't see it happening for the Mets.
That Soto story was so weird. I mean, he confidently said that. Yeah, haven't been talking to anyone. Losing to 12 games in a row. That's not something to be proud of. I was so weird coming from Juan Soto. I think both teams are in trouble. I think the Braves are the second best team in the league behind the Dodgers. So it's going to be hard to win the East. And both of these rosters have the Phillies lineup. It's kind of just really top heavy. It really it's old. It's top heavy. Bottom half of the lineup is just not very strong. It was in years past, but I think it's taken a step back. The Mets, I agree with you that it goes beyond just the roster. The Mets just have something about them.
Mets.
Lol Mets. I can't get behind them. I think it's going to be a struggle for either of these two teams to come back. I really do.
All right, so I said this last week. I just want a quick yes or no. Is the NL Central better than the NL East? Or can we say that now?
Sure. One week
we can
later,
say it.
I denied it.
I think we can say it. Yeah.
I denied it last week.
Nah, I'm not saying that.
No.
I was thinking
East.
about this, and I mean, yes, the NL Central has played better than the NL East so far, but there's 162 games in the season. We're still in April. I think that there's a better chance of the Pirates season going downhill and the Mets kind of being on an up and up than, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I could just see the Pirates crashing down being more likely to happen, so.
Oh, the Pirates, it could totally come crashing down.
I mean, same with a lot of those
100%.
teams. Like, teams that are succeeding right now, like the Reds, like they don't jump out at me as like they're just some mega team.
They made the playoffs last year.
They did. And I mean, how annoying is it to make the playoffs and then that's who you're greeted with is the Dodgers? But anyway, that's a topic for another time.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I still think the NL East is better. It's a long season, and yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's it's not a bad take. I just disagree. But hey, that's the point of this pod, isn't
Fair enough. Off the dome.
Yeah.
Let's break down some of these random things that happened this week. Kobe, you want to talk about Antonocci?
Yeah, Sam Antonocci hit it inside the park home run. First home run of his career, I believe. And
really?
Yeah, But the thing that made that interesting was the ball boy or security, I wasn't quite sure. Very weird, but goes to get it. Looks like it just nicks off his glove. And Gurriel in left field just thought it was a dead ball, which, like, I kind of don't disagree with him. I would kind of feel the same way, especially when that's been a rule in place, or like you see that happen where, you know, it accidentally hits the ball boy or something along, or the umpire for that, and it is a dead ball. But in this case, they didn't call it a dead ball, and it ends up becoming an inside the park home run. Very interesting. It'll definitely be a memorable home run for Sam, but yeah, interesting play.
Fielders they got to play until time is called. Play until the whistle in basketball. You play until time's called in baseball. If time's not called, what are you doing? You're trying to keep your energy and not go and pick up the ball to prevent inside the park homer.
I agree, but there's people in the World Series who would disagree with you by throwing up their hands when a ball hit the wall. But
true that. But he was right on that. Anyways,
the actual like ruling I think there was because they didn't call anything. They couldn't review it even. If they on the field, if someone noticed that it hit the ball boy, because I don't think the ump realized, if he had put his hands up or something, then they could have gone to review. But
interesting.
Because they just let it play out, they can't do anything about it. And I think that kind of is similar in basketball and football with the challenge system.
Yeah.
I think this was the same day on Wednesday. The A's are playing the Mariners. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Carlos Cortez comes up in the first inning and hits a line drive right back at Gilbert, which just goes like right into, it hits him in like the stomach and just kind of lands in his jersey and gets stuck in the jersey. Super weird. You would think that this would be an out because the ball doesn't touch the ground, but no, it was ruled an infield single. The 2 runners on base advance. You can't use like any other part of your uniform to catch a ball. It's got to be your glove, your hand. This has come into play, I think, more with hats potentially being used, or like I've seen PCA running into second. He slides and with his elbow guard or whatever, hits the base. You can't use another object. You got to catch the ball with your glove. So the ball, even though it didn't hit the ground, this was ruled an infield single. That was a really weird play.
I don't like that rule. Like, he caught it. Or it caught him. Or like it. But the ball never hits the ground. It's a catch.
I agree.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with you. Yeah. It doesn't, it's weird. It's not like it was intentionally either. It's not like he took his hat off and caught it with his hat. I feel like this is a weird one that maybe should have been called the other way, but you kind of can't go against the rule book.
It's a line drive up the box, and we're making, punishing the pitcher for it. He's sitting there and it just hits him, or punishing for it. Doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, if he didn't have a jersey on, it's off his chest, but
he does have a jersey on.
It's just something to keep in mind. Like, it's a hard line drive, so you're also punishing the hitter if you have it reversed.
That's true. I didn't think about that. That's true. Well, speaking of hitters, a really, really good hitter failed to get on base. Shohei Ohtani's on-base streak came to an end at 53. Of course, he just beats out Kevin Millar, one of my favorite players of all time, even though this shocked me that Millar had a 52-game on-base streak because he was not a great hitter by any means.
It's your boy.
But Shohei's streak does come to an end. He is my boy. He's a World Series champ. He's a big part of that team in 2004, but not the best hitter in the world. And it didn't even come when he was on the Red Sox, so whatever. With Shohei as well, Jose Quintana thought that he got Shohei to hit into double play. Turns out he balked. I feel like if you get Shohei in a double play, it's like the highest high that you can have as a pitcher, and then it turns out you just balked and you have to pitch to him all over again. Like, that's going from up here to way down here pretty quick.
But wasn't that that wasn't even like a satisfying as a pitcher double play. It was a you got bailed out double play, line drive, runner.
Yeah, it was hard hit.
I don't know how much Quintana was really celebrating that line drive by Shohei there.
Anytime you get Shohei out, it's a win.
Sure.
So we'll take it. Will Benson, also real quick, he became the first player in MLB history to score 2 runs without seeing a single pitch in the game. In the 9th, he pinch ran for Tyler Stevenson and scored. And in the 10th, he was intentionally walked and scored. Thought that was kind of cool. Just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, history.
You see something new every time you watch baseball, which I think is just like what's so great about the sport. There's always something new.
Should we get into PCA?
Yeah, well, you want to?
PCA, got a lot of connection to the guy. We overlapped in middle school. When I was in 6th grade, he was in 8th grade at the same school. He also represented the Sherman Oaks Little League All-Stars when he was 12 and I was 10, representing the All-Star team. So I'm a fan, big fan of PCA. But some of the comments he made about my team, the Dodgers, did rub me the wrong way a little bit. And as I've read more, kind of taking that back, it's kind of whatever. But let's just get into it. Before this season started, he said, I love Chicago more and more. It's an incredible city. The people are great. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the game like Dodger fans to take pictures. They're paying attention. They care. He then backed that up, saying again, I grew up going to Dodger games when they weren't always good. Their fans come in phases. Sitting in the stands, nasty stuff goes on. I didn't always experience that at other ballparks. And then the Cubs travel to LA this week. And of course, it's just going to continue. Dodger fans were booing him.
Boo.
And he had one more comment, which was, what I wish people could see through is I'm not getting at the diehard Dodger fans. They exist. They're out there. I grew up seeing those fans too. But it's a see me city. It's a Laker city where people show up and just try to look good by being there. And Pete says he views it the same way with the Dodgers. I couldn't believe that PCA, he grew up a Dodger fan. I read some more quotes where he was saying how much he loved watching Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier growing up, Kershaw too, obviously, which is the same thing with me. Like, we grew up in the same area watching the Dodgers. It hurt to hear him say something like this about the Dodgers. I grew up going to Dodger games too, and I had a totally different experience. I loved it. I still go to games and I love it. It just seemed a little bit of foolish to kind of make these comments as a second, third year player or whatever, and kind of like going back on your hometown and calling the fans out that you grew up with, surrounded by. It was a weird thing to say. Also, the Dodger Stadium holds like 56,000 people. So if you have some empty seats, compare it to the stadiums where you only have to fill 37,000 seats. The Dodger Stadium is getting more fans than those stadiums. It's just a capacity thing. There's going to be some empty seats around because you just have so many more to fill. It's kind of just bothered me, but whatever. I'm still always rooting for PCA.
There you go. I'm happy you're able to look past it.
Yes.
I think it's interesting too, because we saw the same with Cam Schlittler from the Boston area, goes to the Yankees, and all of a sudden he's talking all this smack about the Red Sox in Boston. It's like, I know that you're with a rival, but like, you grew up in the area. You loved these teams. Like, why are we now all of a sudden hating on them? Weird to me too. I will say though, I kind of agree with PCA. I think LA is a bit of a see me city, especially with the Lakers, maybe more than the Dodgers. But like, when the Red Sox were playing the Dodgers in the World Series, there was a lot of red in that stadium in LA. And B, you see down at the field level, a lot of celebrities, maybe some people who aren't necessarily real fans. Now, they could have more just to be with the tickets being super expensive. But I don't know. I see what PCA is coming from.
The Dodgers were playing in back-to-back World Series that year. They had actually just made it the season before and got cheated out of a ring. So their fans kind of already experienced some of it the season before. Maybe that's why there was more red that season.
That's weird, because I don't think that ever happens in Boston when we go, have a couple runs in a row. They show up no matter what. So
you only got like 30,000 seats to fill.
Yeah, 37. In that beautiful, beautiful ballpark, and they fill it out each game. So
how does Zev find a way to turn everything into a Red Sox segment?
Dude, I find the way to come back.
Segment.
I brought up Schlittler, and it was just such a good transition into it.
I want to hear what
I don't know what you want to tell me.
I want to hear what Kobe has to say about PCA.
I don't know if you want to hear what I had to say about PCA. I don't have a problem with the guy as a person. I think he's cool. He got some funky hairstyles. But when it comes down to him as a player, this is where I start to just disagree with what everyone is saying. Now, it's easy to say right now. Easy to say right now because he's playing terribly. But this guy was glorified. I mean, just glazed beyond belief for his ability to be a 5-tool player, hit the home runs. Now, don't get me wrong. Last year was an unbelievable season for him, but he is the same idea that I brought up in our first podcast about Cal Raleigh, but even worse than that. This guy is, I don't know how to explain it. The guy is not going to hit for power like he's expected to. He's not going to hit for average. He's going to steal bases. He's a glorified Jose Caballero, and that's the extent of it.
Gosh.
That's the extent. His ceiling is so much lower to me than it is to, it feels like everyone I talk to. Not high on the guy. Hey, I'm sure he's a great guy, but past stolen bases, he doesn't bring much to the table for me.
You know, I'm a big believer in PCA. He's on my fantasy team for a reason. I am believing in Pete Crow Armstrong to put it all together this season. He got off to a bit of a slow start. This past couple weeks, he got moved down the lineup, maybe a little stress taken off his back. He's been bowling, and he's great defensively.
His glove is
That's
great.
a big part of baseball. His glove is great.
But I'm
Caballero's
kind of
is
with
too,
you
though.
on the offensive side, Kobe. The metrics just don't look too great right now. But we'll see if he turns things around.
We'll see if he turns things around. I'm hoping he does. Now, someone who doesn't need to turn things around is Mason Miller. And here's my take. And I love this take. I think he's the best closer we've seen since Mariano Rivera. And he does it with 2 pitches. Mo did it with 1. So you don't need a ton of pitches as a relief pitcher. He just had a franchise record for 43 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, which is insane. That dates back to last season, obviously. His baseball savant page, we'll put it up down here in the corner. It's unbelievable. So much red. He's just the man. He comes in the game and he shuts you down. If you're losing in the 9th inning, actually, if you're losing in the 7th inning against this Padres bullpen, you're in trouble. But if you're losing headed to the 9th, I mean, you're in serious, serious trouble with Mason Miller. I also think it's interesting, both him and Mariano Rivera, not a lot of people know this about Mo. They both started their careers as starters and then got transitioned into the bullpen where they thrive. I think that's pretty interesting. You don't see that a whole ton. So Mason Miller, best closer since Mo. And there's only a couple of options. Do you think Kimbrel, Kenley, Chapman, are they better than Mason Miller is right now?
Those 3 are the ones that stand out as competition because of the length of which they've done it. I mean, those guys ran the decade and are still going. I think Mason Miller at his peak right now is better than those 3 in terms of just dominance. I mean, all 3 of those closers have had years of success, but within those years, they each kind of have some stretches of struggle in blowing games. It happens. Mason Miller just looks truly unhittable. I think maybe if you're trying to compare just peaks, 2022 Edwin Diaz was
incredible.
Amazing. He was so good. He had a 1.31 ERA. He had 118 strikeouts in 62 innings. That was, I think, in terms of
insane.
peak. In terms of peak, that might be the closest competition with Mason Miller.
That's insane. Oh, I got a sneeze coming, guys. This is
That could be
no, it's going
4,
away. We're good.
5.
We're good.
Zev likes
Well,
the quadruple sneeze.
Yeah, I've reached 5 once in my life.
Wow.
It was a great moment.
5
But
in a row.
4's
Yeah, and it's not worth
Four's
blessing
pretty common for
people
me.
past the first one. I think I start to get a little annoyed when it's like you're only getting 1 bless you, bro. Like, keep it down.
Yep.
I was just watching watching TV. Dos Equis not a sponsor commercial comes on. My favorite one I've ever heard. My sneeze blesses you. I thought that was great.
Dude, you've been saying that all week, and I really haven't
know.
gone on board. But you do you, man. If you like that
I'm a
one,
big fan of it.
great.
Dos Equis, we are
Thanks for-
interested though. Just if
Oh
you're
yeah,
listening.
but not quite a sponsor.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think it's that time. My favorite segment. Can we talk about the home run draft?
Yes, let's do it. What happened last week? Where did we finish up? Someone wanna let me know?
Zev, you're at the top with 5
Yeah?
home runs, 2 from
Come
Trout,
on.
2 from Colson Montgomery, 1 from CJ Abrams. I finished second. My Brave strategy was great. Got 3 from Olsen, 2 from Baldwin. But the elevation stadiums from Ramon Laureano did not pan out. He got 0, which is a -1. So I'm in second with 4 points. And Kobe.
I struggled a bit. Hey,
Rough
but look,
week.
Zev was,
Yeah.
before this podcast even started, Zev felt the need to just berate me for making my decisions. Like, guys, it's a guess at the end of the
Not
day.
exactly
I
that.
tried my best, and you know what? It didn't go so well. And you know what the difference between me and the next guy is? I'm going to get right back on the horse. So, yeah, I had 2 guys
love
put
to
up
go,
donuts,
Kobe.
but Junior Caminero had 3. Gonna almost end up leveling out 1. I'll take it. Long season.
I actually,
Long
I
season.
loved the Cattell take. The Cattell pick was really
Yeah,
good
that just
playing
hurts.
in the elevation, but the Alvarez was just not where I
Dude,
would have
he's
gone.
still doing it. All right, let's just move on to our next picks.
You want to start us off, Kobe?
Sure, yeah. You want me just to say all 3 of mine? Let's just all say our 3.
No, let's go one at a time.
All right. Well,
Let's go
One at a time.
for
Build
starters,
suspense.
look, I'm behind right now, so I needed to lay down the hammer, and I decided to take from Los Angeles, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, because he is home this week against the Marlins, and then he gets to go to St. Louis. I love those matchups, and it's Ohtani. He hit a homer today. He's getting hot, so I need a few. I need maybe 5 from him to get me back going. But yeah, that was my first pick.
I thought about it. He was on my mind. I ultimately didn't go with him. My first pick, Ellie De La Cruz. Plays the Rockies and the Pirates. He's super hot right now. Anytime you play the Pirates, you gotta feel pretty good about yourself. Unless, of course, or not the Pirates. I meant the Rockies. Anytime you play the Rockies, you gotta feel pretty good about yourself. Unless you're the Mets, then you're hating life. Anyways, I went with Ellie De La Cruz, hoping that he continues my hot start.
Nice. I thought about both of those. Before I say my first player, I'm just going to announce that I hate all 3 of my picks.
Oh.
This week sucks. I was looking
Why
at
are
the
we picking them?
schedules, the matchups. I didn't like anything. I actually wish we could just, can this be my bye week? Because I'm not a fan of the matchups this week, and I decided I'm just going to kind of try to survive. I'm trying to survive this week. So I saw those Dodger matchups that Kobe did, and I'm going back to the first week that we did this, and I'm not taking Shohei like I didn't take Judge. I'm taking Freddie. He moved up to 2nd in the lineup. They moved Tucker down to 5th today. He was down 4th yesterday. 6 righties on the schedule. So all 6 games, Freddie has the favorable matchup, and I think this is the highest he's going to be hitting all season. So this feels like the best value to go with Freddie Freeman. But because I'm saying that, I'm sure Shohei will have 6 home runs this week, and I'm going to screw that up again. But that's my first pick, Freddie Freeman.
My second pick.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
I needed firepower. I needed it, So I went to an underrated player, a guy that's so underrated he might be overrated. Jose Ramirez. He's at home this week versus the Rays, and then see, here's another thing. I as those of you who do know, work at Sutter Health Park. I've said it many times. I'm going to be working the A's games, and he's coming down to Sacramento. I'm actually going to be doing music for the game that he does on Saturday. So, I have a little bit of influence there. Might be able to help. No, I'm not going to do it. We're an A's-specific music brand. I wouldn't do that ever. But I am going to be there. It would be cool front and center to see him hit a home run. It's also great ballpark to hit some home runs. So, yeah, went with J-Ram with my second pick.
Nice. Yeah, I thought about J-Ram as well, actually. Also didn't go with him, though. I went with a different third baseman, Junior Caminero.
Oh, brother.
He was super hot last week. I kind of just needed him to prove that he could hit at the Trop, which he ultimately did. He had 4 homers on the week, and 3 of them were in Tampa. So I like him to keep that up, hit some more bombs this week. I know the matchups. He plays in Cleveland, not particularly great for him, but I like the matchups against the Giants, and honestly, I just have a gut feeling about him. So I'm going with Caminero.
I like it. I really was close to taking J-Ram, Kobe. With my next pick, I also picked someone that's got a couple games in Tampa this week. I'm just preparing to get made fun of by the 2 of you all week for this pick.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Willie Adames
Oh,
Hey,
is
now.
my second pick.
Who is this guy?
Okay. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
You
That's
got
a homer
We're
pick
gonna have to
right
make,
there.
if my math is correct, we're going to the end of the season last week. I think we need 78 different players Like I got to pick 78 different players. So we're going to have to spread it across some teams. If you're going to pick a giant, let's avoid Oracle, right? That stadium is really hard for
Sure.
hitters. So the Giants have 6 games on the road. 4 are against lefties. So if you're going to pick a giant, this feels like a good opportunity to go with Willy Adames, who had 20-plus home runs last year. He's on
30.
my fantasy team. Did he get to 30?
He had 30. It was like a huge deal. He was the first Giants player to hit 30 homers in the season since Bonds.
Look at that. And he's
incredible.
a Salamanca slugger, my fantasy team, and I didn't even know that. This feels like a good opportunity to go with Willy Adames. Like I said, I'm just trying to survive. You have 6 games, 4 against lefties. Give me one. Give me one, Willie, and then we can put you in the past and never pick you again.
You know, I don't want to burst your bubble, but he was like historically awful at the Trop. Like terrible when he was in Tampa.
You know, that sucks to hear because the thought was like, he's played there before. I could have gone Matt Chapman, different righty on that team. It's like, but Willie does have some experience.
No. And he was so bad. So bad hitting at the Trop.
It's all right. We still believe.
Kobe, who's your final guy here?
Final guy, a guy who, I wish I got an extra point if the exit velocity went over 110, because this guy would definitely get me there if that was the case. O'Neal Cruz. He's got 7 games this week. He's at home against the Cardinals for 4 of them, and then at home against the Reds. A guy who could hit me 5 or 6, and he could also just get me none with like 15 strikeouts. Really don't know what I'm going to be getting there, but I like the 7 games and I like the teams he's facing, so.
Yes. Aaron, I am also going with someone who's on my fantasy team. Ian Happ, one of my favorite players in the league. He's playing in San Diego, not going against King. Randy Vasquez is pretty good, but Happ's hitting the ball well right now. I like his matchups against Arizona, a team that gives up a ton of home runs. I think they've given up the 4th most home runs in baseball this year. I like that I have 2 switch hitters in my draft this week. I think that's just always a good sign. You're not going to get those guys who, might sit against a lefty if they're a lefty. Ellie De La Cruz, by the way, too, he has more matchups against righties or against lefties, and he's better from the right side. Am I right about that? It might be flipped. Now I'm second guessing myself.
I think Ellie's better with power from the left.
From the left. Okay, and that's what I thought originally, and I second guessed myself.
He's had some from the right side this year. It's been like a good sign.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, Ian Happ, really excited about him. I just am excited to pick Ian Happ. Like, he's just one of my favorite players in the league. So here we go.
Let's keep it going with picking from our own fantasy teams. I think we're all a little biased. I didn't go. So me and Kobe, I think we saw a lot of the same things this week. He went Shohei, I went Freddie. He goes O'Neal Cruz. I'm going B-Ren, Brian Reynolds. I was really considering just going O'Neal Cruz, but there are a couple lefties coming up this week, and he hasn't been the best. This year he's been better, but I just wanted to stay away from that. Reynolds is a switch hitter, so he gets the mix. He gets it from both sides. 7 games. Let's just take the Pirate Brian Reynolds now. Consistent. Survive. No donuts. No donuts between Reynolds, Raymond, and Adames this week, and I'm okay because I don't feel like I'm wasting any of the stars like I did with Olsen last week, which did kind of pan out.
He had 3 bombs.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like with your strat, truthfully, you might just get 3 homers. You could get 3 donuts.
I know.
Like Freddie, he's adjusted his game to not be as power centric. It's very possible you just get 3 donuts, which would be detrimental.
Yep. It's all right though.
Let's keep it within our fantasy teams here. Moving on to our fantasy baseball segment. We're going to start this each week. We're going to give an MVP and a Cy Young from all of our individual teams. I guess I'll kick it off. My MVP for the week, hitting wise, and the MVP I think always has to be a hitter. Maybe we should name it Silver Slugger. My MVP, Josh Naylor. And he's a little banged up now, which isn't ideal. But he had 4 stolen bases on the week for me. It's just great. Like, he did exactly what he did last year, stealing a ton of bags. Got on base at a 500 clip as well, which is incredible. He's my MVP for the week. What about Aaron? Who's your MVP?
I spent like 2 minutes ranting about how much I regretted picking Jazz Chisholm in round 2. So let's give him some respect. 12
Oh.
of my 16 hitters this week homered. So I feel like it really is a team award. No one really stood out. But Jazz was pretty good. He had a 423 on base percentage, which is what we use as our category instead of batting average. 2 homers, a steal, and just the turnaround he had this week compared to the first few matchups was big and really encouraging. So Jazz is my MVP, Silver Slugger, whatever you want to call it.
Look, for me,
Kobe?
here's the thing. Struggled mightily this week. But it's not about, how hard you get hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But one thing I will say about my squad is Mr. Josh Young, who I picked up a couple of days ago into the matchup. I mean, this isn't even a guy who played all week for me. That kind of shows you how much I really had to work with offensive-wise in picking this player. I'm going to go with Josh Young. Now, as you guys know, in our first podcast, I recommended you guys pick up Brady House. I no longer recommend that. He is not on the team. He is a part of the waiver wire team. Not on the squad anymore. I've had trouble finding a third baseman, and I think Josh Young could be the guy. Make sure to stay tuned because who knows throughout the year who will be my third baseman, potentially even next week. But for now, we have him mixed up. I have a couple too many Rangers than I want, but I will say I do have some of the better Ranger hitters on the squad. But yeah, so we'll go with Josh Young for that Silver Slugger.
Nice. Yeah. Should we just go in reverse order? Kobe, you want to
Snake.
give us your Cy Young?
Sure. Cy Young, honestly, a really tough decision. Definitely not Mr. Brian Bayo. Picked him up for a start, and it just the worst decision I could have made in my life, probably. 13 hits, 8 earned runs. Anyway, he was on the squad for less than 5 hours, and he will never be on the squad again.
It's like,
But
he's your Shackton a fool for the week.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it to Chris Sale. He pitched today, pitched really well. Gave
great.
up, I think it was 2 hits and a walk, something like that. Got me 9 strikeouts. Fantastic. Don't forget about Jose Soriano. He just didn't pitch much this week, only pitched once, 5 innings. It was shutout ball, but wasn't my best start. Glasnow also deserves some love. He had a really good start. Man, Cy Young could really go to a lot of pitchers on my squad, but I'm going to go with Chris Sale this week.
Yes.
Well deserved. I'm going to give Cy Youngs to 2 players that provided very similar roles for me. I lose Daniel Palencia. He goes on the IL. So what do we need? Saves. Sir Anthony Dominguez and Pete Fairbanks each give me 4 saves to win the category this week, which I had lost each of the last few matchups. So saves was really starting to make me mad, and then I lose Palencia. Those 2 stepped up this week. Clean innings. Each give me 2. Co awards for my 2 closers this week.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going with a guy who has been just an absolute workhorse for me all season long, Nolan McLean. It pitched twice this week, 17 strikeouts. Now, of course, he doesn't get a win because the Mets are just hot garbage, but only 4 earned across the 11 2/3, and he's just been great. He's been the guy that just walks in, pitches his heart out, and leaves. Doesn't say a word about it. He just does his job. So Nolan McLean is my Cy Young for the week. And by the way, I won the week 10-0. I'm in first place of our league. I'm feeling great. It's the best start I've ever had. So I'm feeling really, really good. And part of that is because of some of the waiver wires. Oh my gosh, like a tongue twister. The waiver wire guys that I've picked up.
As soon as he's not talking about the Red Sox, it becomes a struggle.
Yeah.
He's got to talk about anything but the Red Sox, and he can't spit it out.
Well, we have a Red Sox on this list for
Of
waiver wire
course.
guys that you should pick up. Peyton Tolley just got called up. Sonny Gray goes on the IL. He's only rostered in 18.7% of the
I
leagues,
hate him.
and he is an absolute stud.
I hate him.
Whoa, what?
Because I'm playing him in a
against
matchup and he
Tolley.
gets picked up and gets 11 Ks. Are you kidding me? He's not going to
He's
do that
a
again
Why
this
didn't you
season.
pick him up? You got to be on that, Kobe.
Dude, I'm
Yeah, you
busy.
should've.
I have something called a job. 2 of them. It keeps me busy. So, yeah, I can't keep up with
Anyway,
these guys.
Peyton Tolley. You should pick him up.
I want to shout out Max. Shoot, what was it? You guys told me before this started. Meyer?
Max Meyer.
Mayor, I think
Max
it's Mayor.
Meyer. No, I'm pretty sure it's Meyer.
All right.
Meyer.
Who honestly should have been my Cy Young, but I knew I was going to mention him later. So he was great this week in 2 starts.
Yeah, he was.
Where is he? Let me go back to this. He was great. He's a guy I'm really high on. He has good strikeouts. He had 2 wins blown this week, which really, really pissed me off because I really wanted to win that category and I lost. So yeah, playing for the Marlins, that'll happen. But he's just got good stuff. The metrics look pretty good, and he's only like 14% rostered in ESPN. I've had him since draft day. I took him late in the draft. I think he's a guy to look out for. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Max Meyer is certainly someone you should be looking to pick up. That Marlins rotation is pretty deep. Like I think it's one of the better rotations they've had in a while, and he's just a big piece of that. So I agree with you.
Last week I said I was a Marlins believer, and you said the pitching sucked. So
well,
I
and
don't
the
know
thing
what's
is that
changed.
looking at it now, you take a step back, you make a take, and it's not the best take. You take a step back. I think takes a big man to be able to admit when he's wrong. I'm wrong on the Marlins rotation. Maybe not the offense. I'm wrong in the Marlins rotation though. They're pretty legit.
All right. I'm glad you're willing to
Kobe,
admit
you
that.
got a guy for us?
Sure, let's go with my boy Carlos Cortez. I've got to watch a lot of him. I can't believe he's doing as well as he is. Not to say that he's a bad player, but he's playing well. He's hot right now. To me, he seems like one of those guys where you are awesome if you need some firepower this week. I really don't think he is going to sustain it over the rest of the season, but right now he's hitting the ball well. He's seeing it well, batting well over 300. Pick him up if you got the chance. The A's, especially towards the end of that lineup, are definitely looking for some key guys who can stick around there. So he's going to be playing close to every day, especially right now. It's kind of just who's hot, who's not for the A's, and he's hot. So make sure to pick him up. Only 8.6% of leagues. So
I'm high on
I
him.
I think it's really important for what you said there. You need something specific, you pick up a guy. Haesung Kim, that's the guy for me. If you need stolen bases, he's been stealing a ton. He's also just getting on base a ton, and in that lineup, you're going to score runs. Haesung Kim is only rostered in 3.6% of ESPN leagues. If you need SBs, take a look at him.
Yeah. With Cortez, his metrics look great. So he's definitely on my radar, and he's got 6 games in sack this week, which is always better for the hitters. The only reason I didn't pick him up in our league, I'll be honest with you, there's 4 lefties on the A's schedule this week, and he has sat some games out when they go against lefties. And now that Brent Rooker's back, I was a little bit worried about the playing time there. But he is a really good hitter. So maybe next week when they got some more righties on the schedule, that could be the time to go for him.
Yeah. And before Rooker got back, he was hitting 4th. Rooker comes back, he just moves to 5th. I think it's a good lineup, and it's cheap exposure to a good lineup, which is always helpful for your squad. Now, what's not helpful is the state of closers right now. There's like really only half the league that is employing one set closer. Is it worth rostering closers right now? I mean, if you have a stud, it's certainly worth it. But if you have someone who's maybe a little more, by committee, is it worth having a closer on your team?
I think it's pretty league based. Every league has a different format and different set of rules. Our league is so deep that you have starting pitchers who are just bottom of the totem pole. So they're already hurting your ERA and WHIP. So if you have some of these closer by committee guys, they can't really hurt you a whole lot more. But if they do bring you a save in a week, that could be the difference between you winning or losing or tying that category.
Sure.
So I think in our format, which is definitely different than most others, it is worth it. But it's really based on the format of your league and what other guys you already have on the roster.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Kobe,
Dude,
thoughts?
I hate it. It drives me nuts. Especially in my predicament. I will say I was ahead of the curve and Jordan Romano getting newly DFA'd today. Dropped him yesterday. So,
Yeah.
hey, I kind of just saw it coming.
Nice.
I mean, he did have a 10 ERA, so it's kind of expected, but I was ahead of the curve on that one. But anyway, I don't know. I think it's a weird spot right now. I as bad as I want to say it's early, some of these guys' ERAs are just ballooned right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess that kind of still is the argument. Like, it's early. Like, I think that, a lot. Feel like I saw it a lot last year too, of just like guys' jobs who were a little bit looser, like they just didn't have as strong of a hold. But it's like if you've blown 2 to 3 games, we're in April, like teams are gonna start looking around more. But I don't hate the idea of committee, especially when you're a team of worser stature. Like for example, the A's. I'll put them out there. They're not gonna go to one guy, and there's no need to, especially if you don't have a guy that really stands out above anyone else. So in terms of rostering these guys, if there's any inclination of committee, like, yeah, if you have the roster room for it, why not? If they're pitching often and they're pitching well, why not? But like right now, like if Devin Williams like wasn't named the closer, or like he was just high leverage in committee with Luke Weaver or whatever, like I probably wouldn't have him rostered. Like if it becomes committee, it makes it harder for me to want these guys because like they do so little for you past getting saves. Like Aaron did make a good point. They have that potential, but like they just don't bring enough to you. One inning of play is not going to affect my ERA and whip that much when I've logged 40 plus innings. 2 strikeouts isn't going to do much when I've already logged 55 strikeouts. Like, yes, those things can over time, but to me, I just don't value it that much. So I don't know. If it's a part of a committee, I usually stay away.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You've seen in the past, like, year and a half, kind of this trend slowly move towards teams going more closer by committee. And then this year, I feel like it just hit. And whether that's because guys got hurt or closers weren't particularly good, not sure. But I feel like this year, there's a lot more teams that are going closer by committee. It might be the kind of thing that's like, as the season progresses, we want to see what happens and see how the teams evolve. And then going into next year's draft, I mean, we could have an entirely different strategy, whether that means guys like Mason Miller and Andres Munoz are just some of the, first guys taken, like in the 40s or 30s even, because they're just that much better than the rest of closers. Or maybe teams don't care as much about the closer, and you see a guy like Mason Miller maybe drop down to 60 or 70 range. Who knows? So we'll just see. I think we got to see how the season progresses.
All right. We've gone to an hour.
We're running out of time here.
We got to an hour.
Oh my
Plan
gosh,
was 30
time
minutes.
flies. Time flies. Kobe, can you take us out? I feel like you did such a great job with that intro.
Hey, thanks, dude. That really means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and close this out here. Thank you for listening, you guys. If you made it all the way through, maybe you skipped all the way to the end and you're just hearing the outro. Either way, we're glad you joined us. We'll try to be back. Actually, not we will try. We will be back next week with another episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.